Hello everyone. This video is on the provisions of LODR regulations, regulation 30 by 11, requiring larger of the listed companies to respond to market rumors. Now, I would like to clarify as to what exactly is the scope of this regulation, what exactly is the meaning of rumor, what's expected of companies to do. Are companies expected to be regularly scanning for rumors that appear in multiple media publications? What exactly is the obligation on listed companies? That's my intent in this very, very short video to explain. More detailed discussion can be seen in one of my articles on the topic, which you can see the link on the description box. And there are further detailed FAQs on the amendments in LODR regulations on our website, link to which also you can see in the description box. Quickly responding to the point we were talking about in terms of what exactly is to be done for the rumors. The first part to be seen is what exactly is the meaning of rumor. So let's first understand, is it a rumor at all? Now, to understand what's the meaning of rumor, let's first understand the intent of this amendment. The amendment in regulation 30 by 11, which inserts two provisions. That provisions are applicable to top 100 companies starting 1st October. And for top 250 companies is applicable from 1st April 2024. Requires a listed company to mandatorily respond to market rumors. So what exactly is a market rumor? Now, the background to this amendment is a provision in most of the global regulations on similar subject, which say that if there is an inside information, there's some impending development or inside information within the company, and the company has not gone public with the disclosure because the information is not still at a stage at which disclosure is required or disclosure is warranted. The development is, let's say, somewhere in the midst of being finalized, so it's not attained a stage where a public disclosure is typically done. Let's think, for example, there's a demerger or an acquisition proposal. It's somewhere midway. It's pending discussion, pending due diligence, pending some approval, pending something. And quite commonly, companies do not, and I think appropriately should not, talk about something which is still not reached a stage which is certain of being accomplished. So midway between the journey of a corporate action, there's no point in making a disclosure because that might create a false market. One doesn't know whether development will actually fructify. And therefore, if immature disclosures are done, that actually creates an issue. So therefore, companies keep mum about something which is still developmental, something which is still cooking up, and that's actually not disclosed. But in the meantime, quite often what happens, somewhere or the other, somebody gets an idea of what's happening, gets a leak of what's happening, and the press carries out a story on what's cooking within the company. Very often the press is able to get precise details of what's being discussed internally. Maybe there's some leakage, but that's a different story that we come back to. So the idea of the listing requirements in most global jurisdictions has been that while it's perfectly okay for a company not to disclose developmental details, but if the matter which is still, let's say it's unpublished lying with the company, has already been talked about in the media with reasonably precise details so as to make people believe that what is being published is actually correct, then the company should instantly go and make what is called a frank and fair disclosure. That is, the company can no more keep quiet. It must make a disclosure promptly, immediately. That actually means what? The stage of disclosure which otherwise would have awaited for the development reaching a certainty gets preponed at whatever stage the development is. Since the press has talked about it and the public are already starting to believe what the press is writing, the company should give its own response. The company obviously will not be able to completely deny because something is already cooking up. The company wouldn't be able to deny. If the company wants to deny, the company should go with the denial. But if the company wants to confirm the development, it would also talk about the stage at which the event or development currently is. That's the requirement. This is what it is in the US, NYSE, NASDAQ, European regulations, etc. And this is precisely what has been inserted as a part of the SEBI LODR amendments as well. So 30 by 11, the first provision talks about if there is some impending news or development which would have required disclosure in terms of regulation 30. That would mean we are only talking about such news or developments which are mandatorily disclosable in terms of regulation 30. And there, if we have not so far done a disclosure, given the stage of the development, then if rumors have already come in the press, then the company must go and disclose about what's happening. And in that case, the company will also have to talk about at what stage are we currently on. So there are two situations. Either there is something being talked about in the press which is pertaining to a disclosable item in terms of regulation 30, and the company wants to say, well, this is completely baseless, there's nothing like that that we are aware of. The company just completely wants to deny. In that case, the company may completely deny the development. So the answer is, if there is some impending development which at appropriate stage would have required disclosure, or there is no development at all but the press has been talking about it, in that case a disclosure in terms of regulation 30/11 will be required. Let me therefore clarify. The reference to rumor is rumor about some news or development which is though there in the company and has still not been disclosed because it's still not full-fledged. It's not reached a stage where a disclosure would be warranted, or the press has been talking about something which is actually not there at all. It's only in those two situations that the answer or response to rumors is required. The company is not required to respond to all kinds of rumors. Somebody talks about the performance of the company, somebody talks about the good performance, bad performance, somebody talks about, let's say, internal conflict, somebody talks about, let's say, tensions building within the company. There's absolutely no question of responding to anything other than an item which would have required disclosure in terms of regulation 30, which has still not been disclosed because it's still impending development, or let's say the press is talking about something which is completely baseless. It's only in those situations that a disclosure, that is a response to rumors, is required. So that's the first important part. What exactly is that therefore a rumor? A rumor about some news or development which warrants disclosure in terms of regulation 30. So therefore, the first question to ask is the rumor about some matter, some news, some development which would have required disclosure in terms of regulation 30? In that case, only a response is required. Next question, what exactly? Where exactly does the company respond? Does the company respond to the press, which is spreading the rumor? My answer very clearly is no. The company is supposed to respond to the stock exchange. There's no question of responding to the rumor monger. I mean, the person who is responsible for spreading the rumor, but that would still perpetuate the information asymmetry. The company should actually inform to the exchange, which is supposed to be the single point contact, single point reference of all investor communications. What would be the company's response? Can the company still remain vague that the development has not reached a stage where a disclosure would be required? No, that's very important to understand. If there is some news or development which is impending within the company, then the company is still giving an evasive response to say that the company continues to disclose whatever is disclosable, etc. That's not appropriate disclosure because the press has talked about it already. We are talking about preponing the stage of disclosure. The stage of disclosure is now preponed. It would have normally, in terms of SEBI circular of 2015, it would have awaited disclosure till the matter became final, till the matter attained certainty. But now, because of the rumor, we are preponing the stage. So not only will the company have to say, yes, there is something, the company will also have to talk about at what stage of development is the news or development currently at. Now, this stage of development itself can be described in some appropriate words. For example, it's preliminary. For example, it's non-binding. For example, it's pre-approval. In that case, whose approval are we awaiting, etc. The company will therefore have to give some speaking details, transparent details about what's happening and at what stage the development currently is, to say that we will disclose only when it attains finality, etc. That would not be a proper response to rumor. That's not the expectation of the regulations. Having done all of that, it's very important now that there was a rumor and the rumor has already created some kind of information asymmetry. Therefore, it's very important for the company to do an integrity check as to how did the internal unpublished price sensitive information, which is supposed to be very closely guarded, we're supposed to be entering any passing of such information in the structured digital database, etc., etc. And there is a very serious responsibility on maintaining the integrity of unpublished price sensitive information on the board of directors. How did this information get leaked? If the leakage wasn't there, the press wouldn't come to know about it. So the company has to conduct its own inquiry into how the leakage happens. And in terms of PIT regulation, regulation 9A by 5 of the PIT regulations, the company is also supposed to intimate SEBI about the result of such inquiry into leak of inside information, because SEBI regulations also say that if any securities intermediary, for example, a stockbroker or merchant banker or securities intermediary, has been responsible for the leak, then SEBI will take punitive action against such intermediary. If the person with whom the company shared the information, let's say an internal, what you call designated person, DP of the company, or a person receiving information from the company in pursuance of information integrity commitment, NDA, has made a disclosure, then the company also, and in fact, SEBI can also then take punitive action against such person responsible for the leakage. So in this short video, we talked about what exactly is the meaning of rumor. Rumor doesn't mean anything and everything being written about the company. It's only those news or pieces which would have come under Regulation 30 disclosure. It's merely preponing the stage of disclosure rather than imposing a new disclosure requirement. So that's our intent of this video. And please do see more resources on this as a part of our description box. You'll find the link. And please do continue to subscribe to our channel, write your comments, write your feedback. We'll be most obliged. Thank you very much.